All right. So I have another gem, this is out of Kentucky's Constitution. This is Section 2, which reads, absolute arbitrary power over the lives, liberty, and property of free men exists nowhere in a republic, not even in the largest majority. So what is this telling us? We have absolute power, which is unchecked control. We have arbitrary power, which how they're using policies and procedures instead of law. This provision is telling us that kind of power does not exist in a republic. Okay, does not exist in a republic, which is why they keep promoting this whole democracy nonsense, right? Because it allows them to operate outside of the contract, outside of the constitutional guarantees. Because then, if they're operating on a republic, they answer to us at all times, right? So that this is telling us that the governor doesn't have the power, the courts, the legislature, the cops, prosecutor, the president, not even if 100% of the population agrees with something, if it conflicts with any of the foundational or fundamental rights or the foundation, which the Constitution, the contract, it's all null and void. But if we do not know how to articulate these things and comprehend them, we're not going to be able to do anything about restoring our republics. And this is why I see all these people, and I was getting dragged into it too in the beginning of my journey with all of this, all these different processes and, trying to basically completely avoid the system, which is the problem, because the more we avoid it, the longer they get away with controlling everything. We have to take our power back. But if we don't understand the contracts and how to apply them, we can't take it back. So I'm ranting. Let's keep going here. So over the lives, liberty, and property of free men, the word free men means you, right? Every man and woman that is born in our republics, given inherent rights from our Creator, that's not from the government. Okay, that's the biggest thing that people really need to understand. Our rights do not come from the government. They're only there to protect and secure those rights. So our life, right, your life is your own body. That means the state and the federal government, they can't come and tell you that you have to inject yourself with anything. They can't detain you for no crimes, or they can't just come up with nonsense reasons to detain you for anything. They can't force you to wear muzzles like we've seen. I mean, here and even in my township, our police chief loved that nonsense, citing people for exercising. Again, here, they don't like when you exercise your rights. And what were they doing this under? They're doing it under emergency powers. They're claiming to have these powers, and because people complied with it, it gave them the power to do something that they don't have the power to do. But that's because the vast majority of the population, we've all been made very ignorant to all of this. Thanks to the public indoctrination camps and all the other propaganda that's been going on for generations. I mean, we're all to blame for what is taking place at the end of the day. And then property, which is our land, our labor, your business, our children. All of these things are reserved outside of their power or authority, limited delegated authority, right? And then again, here we are with exists no in a republic. This part, so let's think about this. If arbitrary power exists nowhere in a republic, and they're using it, we know this is how they're operating. So that's telling us that we're not operating as a republic, which is guaranteed under Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution, guarantees our republic in all 50 states, right? Every state of the Union. So we know 100% that our public servants are operating unlawfully, right? They're operating under color of law, in breach of their oath, in direct violation of the founding contract of government, which means they're all in an open insurrection against we the people and the Constitution that they swore to be governed by. They willingly chose to swear the oath to be governed under this contract to serve us, right? So not even in the largest majority, which that tells you our rights don't go up for vote. They can't legislate your rights away. Okay, they can't just mandate obedience with emergency powers or any of these, ordinances or however they want to word it. They don't have the authority. They don't have the power, right? So if you can't vote away rights, right? So let's say your neighbor gets mad at you because you love doing jumping jacks on your front lawn, and he goes and gets 99.9% of the population to vote to make it to pass an ordinance to make it unlawful to do jumping jacks in your front yard. They can't do it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they don't like it. It's not hurting no one. And it's your freedom to go get some exercise and do some jumping jacks in your front yard. They can't do anything about it. So that's what we see with all these little ordinances, all these little townships and everything, right? And all these big cities, all of these little ordinances and nonsense. They can't do it. They don't have the power to do it. The only reason that it continues is through compliance. Okay? That's the only reason any of these things even continue, is because of our ignorance to it and people complying with it, right? So, this line right here, right now, even the largest majority literally destroys the majority rules nonsense that they try and play, right? We hear all the politicians and judges and the policy enforcers, right? They all try to play this card. It doesn't matter. It does not exist, because in a true republic, that locks in our individual rights above all reach of the government in any way, until you start causing problems, right? Start creating victims, right? And however, there's obviously numerous ways of doing it, but until then, they don't have the authority that they've been led to believe that they have, and they're getting away with. So, really, at the end, we have to know that the Constitution is a contract, right? A trust. We are the ones benefiting from this trust, okay? From this contract. There are trustees, our public servants. The moment they breach this trust, they're operating outside of their official capacity. So now we know that we can hold them personally accountable when they do this. And the Kentucky Section 2 right here, this isn't just a suggestion, right? This is the law written, right? Our founders gave us all of these tools. They're in all of our state constitutions on how to control our states, all our little public servants. Our founding fathers gave us the tools to control our public servants. And you go to Benjamin Franklin, right? What was his famous quote? A republic, if you can keep it. He's telling you, if you can keep it, which means it's up to each of us individually to be able to comprehend our rights, know how to articulate them, and hold our public servants accountable. So that's, at the end of the day, that's what's going to really make the change in our country, right? Is going back to the foundation. Stop. People need to stop putting all this time and effort into all these processes that are taking us away from gaining the knowledge to use the contracts that, again, the tools that were given us to take our republic back and make sure that we restore order to everyone in our country. If this is the only real way to accomplish this, is by being able to go looking right here in the Kentucky's Constitution, utilizing all of these tools that were given to us.